Good evening, everybody. It is meteorologist and weather forecast, and welcome back to the tropical update, guys. I do apologize for posting later. I actually went to Lake Lanier for my birthday. It was very unexpected. I did not expect to do this, so I thought I was going to upload early, and I do apologize again. But now I finally got home just a couple minutes ago, so I thought I can do a tropical update on Tropical Storm Erick. So Tropical Storm Erick has formed, and now Tropical Depression 7. So now we have no more invest into the Pacific now. So that's where we need to start to get a little bit more worried now, a little bit more cautious as they have formed now. So yeah, guys, we have a lot of new updates, but before we get to the video, be sure to like this video. Let's get this to 20 likes. That would mean so much to me. Also, be free to share the channel, so if anyone, friends, family, neighbors, anyone who you think would like this channel, and also be sure to subscribe if you're new for daily updates. But if you guys want to know all the new updates, and if it could potentially hit Hawaii as a Category 3 or more, then I'll come right up. So now we're going to be looking at the 5-day tropical weather outlook, and here we do have Tropical Storm Erick. It is actually at 40 knots at maximum sustained wind, so 40 miles per hour. So it actually has grown a lot. It's grown 10 miles per hour last time we checked. And the minimum central pressure now is at 1,004 millibars, so it's gotten a lot more organized. Last time we checked it was 1,007, so it has gotten a lot stronger winds and a lot more organized in millibars. And now it's actually going a bit, it's moving a bit faster now at 17 miles per hour, so you can tell it's really farther out, way more ahead of 7E. But here we have Tropical Storm Erick, and it's going to be a very strong one, and it can soon become Hurricane Erick, heading towards the area of Hawaii. That's what we still need to be careful to. And we do have these two systems, one after the others, like Maria and Jose in the Atlantic. And then we have Tropical Depression 7E here. That's at 30 knots and at 35 miles per hour. So it's catching up to Erick. It got a lot stronger yesterday. It's been moving through some very warm waters, like hundreds of miles off the Mexico coast there. And now the minimum central pressure is at 1,007 millibars, so it's not too bad. It's actually getting a lot closer to Erick. It actually gotten a lot gained a lot of energy a lot faster than Erick did, which is surprising. And it is moving at 21 miles per hour to the west, which is incredibly fast, 20 miles per hour. So it's going to be catching up to not only Erick by distance, but also it's going to be catching up with some wind velocity too. So now we're looking at Tropical Storm Erick here to a lot more organized. We actually see a lot of vorticity right here. Actually, let me draw this right here. We have a lot of vorticity right here. This is the center of the storm right here. We have a lot of vorticity, which is the rotation. It's like how think about it like a tornado, but we're just having this rotation. So that's what you really want to see for these systems here. And then we have these outer bands all across here. We do have the strongest bands into the west part of the storm right here. So the most organized is the western part of the system, as you can tell here. But we are having the center get a lot bigger. We have a lot more vorticity here. And it looks like a tropical system. So that's just one thing you want to see this if you want a hurricane. You want to see a grow like this fast. Because yesterday, boy, was it unorganized. And then we are having these outer bands to the eastern part of the storm. And we are seeing these bands are moving way ahead. As you see these bands earlier, they all went straight out into the central Pacific there. So we will have some cloud covers hundreds of miles before the system. As you can see, all these outer bands eventually left the storm. And then we are having the other ones starting to move over here. But again, we are having some more organized. And then that's why we do have 1,004 millibars. A lot more organized here. Now we're going to be looking at the cone and timing. So as you can tell, we have a lot of things that are different here compared to yesterday. So this cone area right here, that's the next 1 to 3 days. So it's so fast moving. It's going to go a long distance in just a couple of days. So we do have this 11 a.m. This is where it was earlier today. And look, we did have some tropical storm current winds at that time. So we finally had that area of tropical storm winds, but it's very small area tropical storm force winds. So again, once it gets stronger, you will see this get a lot bigger, and then at one point we'll see the hurricane force winds, hopefully, and then we'll have it get to a tropical stay as a tropical storm all the way to 8 a.m. tomorrow. So it's going to become a very strong tropical storm later tomorrow, and then by tomorrow night we can actually see a hurricane Erick form, which will be a very big deal there. And then by Tuesday it's still going to be, I actually think by Wednesday it can actually become a major hurricane. The NOAA does not show that yet, but I do believe it will be a Category 3. I think at a very weak Category 3 there, which is considered a major hurricane. And then the next 4 to 5 days here, we will potentially have the next 5 days some landfall in Hawaii for the most southern part. As you can tell right here, the southern island will be in the cone. But it looks like it could be affected only by Tropical Storm Erick, not a hurricane. But we just need to wait out here. We just need to wait. Now we're going to be looking at the model track guidance here for Tropical Storm Erick. So a lot of the models are showing it going to the west-northwest. So it's going west, but a little bit more to the northwest too. And then at this point in the next 3 days, they kind of do split up. Again, they always split up from the next 3 days. Some models do show getting very, very, very close to Hawaii. That's why we still need to worry. And then some models are way off the coast, like not even to worry about there. But 50-50 of the models do show it being close to Hawaii or far. So it's right here. Let me actually get the color out here. This is honestly where we need to watch. This is the center right here. So again, as we get closer, we just need to wait a little bit. I know waiting isn't the best thing right now if it's going to be a major hurricane that hit the islands of Hawaii. But the best thing we can really do is wait right now. We just need to look at what we have so far. So now we are going to be looking at the Tropical Storm Erick model intensity guidance. And boy, do we see a lot of colors over here, which is indicating some chances for a major hurricane, which is something you don't want to see if you live in Hawaii or visiting there. So we will have it. Some of the models do show it as a tropical storm, like staying there. So we will having it potentially staying out here. 40 or 30% chance of the models do show it staying as a tropical storm Erick, but then the other 70% do showing it going way through the tropical storm. So if it's going to go through tropical storm, it's going to be going through the tropical storm area very, very fast. It's going to be going straight up like this. So that's just showing you that it can get very, very strong at some point. By the next 48 hours, we can actually have, again, Category 1 Erick there. And the models are not showing it like this. They're actually showing it like going straight up like that. So that's showing that they are very positive that it can be more than a Category 1. Some of the models do show it stopping at a Category 1. But then the other amount models do show it stopping at a Category 2. So Category 2 is still very bad for the islands. But then three other models show it stepping up to a Category 3, and one model shows a major Category 3, a very, very strong one, and then the other one shows a moderate, and then the other one shows a very, very small one. So again, it's looking like a very, very huge system we need to worry about here. And Erick's looks like it's getting stronger every single day. Now we're going to be looking at the Tropical Depression 7. It's actually right here. It's moving 21 miles per hour, so it's actually moving very, very fast. It went from here all the way to here in just a couple hours, so it's pretty cool how fast it's moving here. So we are somewhat getting somewhat of vorticity here. We are having circular rotation now. Earlier today, it was not really a circle really, but we are finally having some circular indication, some circular formation there, and we are starting to have some vorticity out here. If you look very, very closely, we are going to be seeing that, and it looks like we are very, very soon going to see some these outer bands start to form out in between here. So that's also something we need to worry about here. And now we're going to be looking at the cone and timing for Tropical Depression 7 or potentially Tropical Storm Flossie very, very soon. So if we, by 3 p.m., this was at 3 p.m. on today. It was right here. I bet it's moved a lot more. And then it looks like we have a Tropical Storm Flossie by tomorrow. So we'll have 2 tropical storms basically tomorrow out there in the Pacific. And then by by the noon time of Monday or tomorrow, we'll have a tropical storm. All the way to Wednesday is when we can actually finally become Hurricane Flossie. So it's going to be basically maybe 3 days from now until we see that Hurricane Flossie there. And then the next 4 to 5 days, it's actually looking like it's pretty consistent in tracking. So usually the 4 to 5 days are kind of like this, but it's pretty consistent now that it's looking like it's going to be a hurricane, and we kind of have a better idea. Hurricane Flossie is actually the biggest threat for Hawaii based on this, because Erick is looking like it's going to go straight south of it, but Flossie looks like it's going to take a northwest turn right before it hits Hawaii. So honestly, I think Flossie is the biggest deal, but it's actually pretty good. It's it's actually farther away from Hawaii, so there's more time to prepare and get some more information about this. And all the way to 12 p.m. Friday, we still see a Hurricane Flossie out there. And now we're going to be looking at the intensity guidance. It's basically the same thing, really, as Erick, really. I do apologize, guys. I actually showed the wrong intensity guidance. I was like, this is way too similar. So we're actually going to be looking out at the Tropical Depression 7E model intensity guidance. And boy, do we have some huge systems potentially getting to some major hurricanes out there. So we will have it getting to a tropical storm in less than 12 hours for sure. We could actually have it maybe 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and then by noon, because at noon we will be seeing it at a tropical storm too. Some of the models, actually about 35% of the models do show it staying at a tropical storm Flossie here. But that's not the case for the other ones. Some of these models that should get into Category 1 takes a little bit of time. They're like this. They aren't as for sure as Erick, because as Erick they were like this, but for more Flosser, they're kind of a little iffy here if it's gonna get to a Category 1 that fast. But the others show getting to a Category 1 by the next potentially 2 to 3 days here. So again, it looks like maybe by Wednesday we could have Hurricane Flossie out here. It could potentially get to a moderate to a very strong Category 1, and then some other models showing it to a very, very strong Category 2 here. About 4 to 5 models are showing it to a moderate and strong Category 2. And then we have that one model there that shows it getting to a Category 3. So we do have two systems out here in the Pacific that could get to some major hurricanes out here. In the next 12 hours, we do have Erick getting a lot stronger now at 58 knots here, and then we do see here's the jet stream here, and that's where we have Flossie to start forming. In the next 2 days, we do have Erick getting a lot bigger now. It does weaken just a little bit as it goes into some cooler waters, because again, the Pacific's kind of just weird like that. And then here we have Flossie right behind us, the two systems right behind it there. And then it gets a lot stronger. Boy, this Erick gets a lot stronger right at 92 knots there, right south of Hawaii there, and it could affect the most southern part of Hawaii. But honestly, not a huge threat with Erick for Hawaii. But look at Flossie. Boy, Flossie is a lot bigger than Erick, twice the size, and it's at 107 knots there. It's going to be reaching up to 110 maximum there, and it's going to go straight through the Hawaiian Islands. It's going to go right through the areas of Honolulu. It's a huge deal there. So I think, honestly, Erick is not going to be such a huge deal. I think Flossie will be the biggest deal here. Now we're going to be looking at the radar here for the Central Pacific. So here's Hawaii if you guys can't see. And so here we do have, again, here we have Erick at 982 millibars, moving around 15 miles per hour at this point there. It's going to just a lot weaker there. And here we have Flossie. Flossie's getting at 992 millibars right before landfall. And then it does make landfall with around 1,008 millibars. So again, not looking like it's going to be a huge threat as a major hurricane right before landfall. It could be a very, very weak Category 1. Because the Pacific, if you go right next to Hawaii, it gets very, very cold. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed this update. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I will be doing a live stream later today because it's my birthday, and I talked about doing a live stream there. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and bye.